We would like to start today's video with a big thank you to our very generous patrons. We would especially like to thank one of our most recent patrons, Stone Slider. Thank you so much for your support, and I've been very pleased that we've been able to offer you assistance with learning AX Combat over on our Discord. I am very much looking forward to seeing you at one of our Saturday events at Skunkworks. If you too would like to become a patron and support the channel, please see the link in the description below. The Eale Mark II by Core Dynamics is the cheapest combat-focused vessel available to independent pilots. Its fighter-like design perfectly communicates its intended purpose, and it has to be said, this is a good-looking ship. Often seen in service with Federation military and local security forces, the Eale serves as a fast and harassing strike craft that makes up for its lack of protection with high-speed maneuvering. The cockpit of the Eale is, as you would expect, very small, but with an excellent degree of visibility on all sides. There really isn't much room in here for anything but the pilot though. In terms of armaments, the Eale has two small hardpoints on the underside of the hull, offering outstanding convergence for fixed weapons, and a third small hardpoint atop the hull, again with very good convergence. The lack of medium hardpoints means there is no option at all for flak, and so every AX engagement must be carried out flakless. It is touted as the most maneuverable ship in the galaxy, but in my experience this is highly situational in flight assist or perhaps this reputation is something that only applies to flight assist on flight. Though even at its worst it is still very nimble. Despite the Eagle's lack of hull strength, its small size and fast orbiting speed make it far more survivable than you might first expect. But the Eale has an extremely limiting feature. Only a single utility slot. This means that only a single heatsink launcher can be fitted and severely limits the length of attack runs. Will this limit prove to be too much in the tougher Thargoid fights? Or will the Eale surprise us all? It's time to see how the Eale Mark II fares against the Thargoids. First, we face off against the Cyclops, and this is a matchup I'd completed before, so I had a lot of confidence that I would have no problems. With no possibility of fitting flak, there really is no point in waiting for the swarm to fully deploy before you begin your attacking run. Despite only having 3 small hardpoints, 3 small Gauss can still pack quite a punch if fired together. This will spike the heat a little, but against the Cyclops this really doesn't matter. Overall, the Eale handles the Cyclops well, with none of its weaknesses coming into play over such short attacking runs. The Basilisk would change things up a little, with longer time needed on heart. How would we handle the lower heatsink count? With such limited heatsinks available, it is better to begin attacking with no heatsink cover. You will overheat the ship a little, but this will give you extra heatsinks at the end of the attacking run, when they are far more important. The Eale Mark II's power distributor is very small, and so it can let you down sometimes when you absolutely need a boost to get away from the swarm. Its maneuverability is also very speed dependent. When it's not inside the optimal zone of the throttle, you lose a lot of that famed maneuverability. The need to consistently land shots in order to complete the attacking run within your heatsink limit does mean neglecting concentration from other areas of the fight, such as avoiding the swarm. This can occasionally lead to being missiled by the swarm, which obviously in a ship with such low protection can be extremely damaging. Of course, all this talk of weaknesses does neglect one vital piece of information. The ship is extremely fun to use in combat. Of course, being lightning is never a good idea, and this attack just happened to fall at a moment where there wasn't quite enough power in the distributor to get a boost off. It did confirm one thing, however. The Eale falls within the family of ships that loses thruster capabilities during a lightning attack. The moments after a lightning attack with no thrusters are an incredibly vulnerable time. So with no heat sinks left at the end of that attacking run, I was forced to use silent running to take out the heart without receiving incoming fire. This is a strategy we will be employing a lot later on, but take note of how slowly the Eale cools down once overheated. This becomes an enormous problem for modules, and basically does require the use of heat sinks to even get the ship back into a normal temperature range. So the Eale had taken down the Basilisk, and it felt like quite an even fight, with the Basilisk attacking run length forcing pilot errors due to the required consistency in outgoing fire. The Medusa though is far from an even fight. The big problem really would be the heatsink limit now. 3 small Gauss cannons really do need consistent shots to land, and unless you have the skills of Commander Maligno, Getting the heart inside 4 heat sinks is a very demanding ask. I had run out of heat sinks, and so silent running would be needed. This makes you overheat even more, but as you are not emitting heat, the Medusa still cannot aim at the moving ship correctly. Following the attack, I must synth heat sinks to get the ship temperature down, then on to massive amounts of module repair. On the second attacking run, things were going well, but the heat sinks ran out this time before even exerting the heart. This meant more time in silent running and some truly ridiculous temperatures reached. Yet more module repair would follow. The end of the third attacking run, well, a reboot of the ship was needed because now even the AFMU on board was fried beyond use. But after the third heart, I could now complete attacks within the heatsink limit imposed by the Eagle. The last few hearts fell with relative ease. It had cost a ludicrous amount of AFMU reloads, but the Medusa had been defeated. This was by no means a guaranteed victory though, and took many attempts to gain the kill. With that in mind, I did not take the Eagle out against the Hydra. Given the lengths you must stretch it to even take on a Medusa, I just can't see it happening against the Hydra. There is a technique we call combat synthing where heatsinks are refilled mid-attack run, but this requires avoiding damage from the swarm and Goid for 20 seconds, while also still delivering damage consistently. It is beyond my skill set despite several attempts, though I'm sure there is a commander out there somewhere that could pull it off. The Eagle is a very enjoyable ship to fly, and so long as you're aware of its limitations, it can find its uses, but it will never be a serious contender in the realm of AX, nor is it trying to be. Still, I have to admit I do very much enjoy this ship.